Let's move beyond the simple drama you've been watching and dive into the technical astrological mechanics of a profound public conflict. This is the obsessive power dynamic of Candace Owens versus Erika Kirk. This is a fated conflict. The core of this conflict is an obsessive power dynamic that comes from a Venus-Pluto opposition. Candace's Venus in Taurus opposite Erika's Pluto in Scorpio. This creates a projection conflict that forces an inescapable confrontation between their core values, represented by Venus, and power styles, represented by Pluto. Candace's desperate need for excavation and truth is constantly triggered by Erika's strategic use of silence, which is a Scorpio trait, especially with Erika's Mercury in Scorpio. We're going to dissect the chart mechanics that turn this internal compulsion into a full-scale intellectual siege. First, let's look at the Venus opposite Pluto synastry. In this opposition, the two planets act as a seesaw, forcing a confrontation between Candace's need for value and stability, her Taurus Venus, and Erika's power and transformation principle, her Scorpio Pluto. Candace's need for transparency is directly opposed by Erika's use of strategic silence. This dynamic creates the compulsive loop. The Venus person is driven into an obsessive state to excavate the truth because the Pluto person's detachment feels like a threat to their stability. With the opposition to Venus, the Venus person can project their shadow Venus qualities onto the other. Venus relates to love, money, self-worth, harmony, beauty, and emotional attachments. It can also relate to women. So a Pluto-Venus opposition can often lead to conflicts and power struggles with women and over money in the life of the person with this aspect. Now, Candace has this Venus-Pluto opposition natally, along with Pluto square moon and Pluto opposite sun. So she is likely to have a natural tendency to be obsessive, to want to control the other, and to project her own shadow onto the other. Some people say that if you have this aspect natally, then it's easier when someone else's Pluto comes into contact with your personal planets. But from my personal experience with a natal moon in a 33-minute opposition to Pluto, when someone around my age group has Pluto opposite my moon, it's extremely uncomfortable. It can be difficult to get that person out of your mind and system. Pluto is magnetic and can also be destructive and will dig and dig in an effort to gain power and control. It's destroy or be destroyed for Pluto. The internal investigative urge is then turned into a direct verbal confrontation by the Mercury-Sun opposition. Candace's Mercury, her communication, sits opposite Erika's Sun, her core identity. This means Candace's words are a targeted strike, specifically aimed to pierce Erika's sense of self and force a reaction. With Candace's Mercury in late Taurus, the style is unyielding and literal, attempting to demand a transparent disclosure that the deeply private Scorpio Sun fundamentally rejects. Because Mercury changed signs on the day Candace was born, she could alternatively have Mercury in Gemini. This is the placement I tend to think she has, simply because of the rate at which she speaks, her wittiness, and the fact that she is very much into lots of information, but without truly getting into the details and being concerned with correctness the way an Earth Mercury would tend to do. Either way, her Mercury still opposes Erika's Sun, and an out-of-sign opposition would increase the conflict between Candace's thinking and Erika's core identity and way of being. Ultimately, this is a profound ego versus shadow battle. Erika is, in this dynamic, the personification of the hidden abyss. Candace is compelled to light up and rationalize that darkness to feel safe. The key dynamic is that the Pluto person, Erika, typically calls the shots by remaining detached and silent. This drives the Venus-Mercury person, Candace, into an obsessive roller coaster to force a response. This connection is ultimately about transformation, but it can be extremely destructive, toxic, and dangerous. When a person works consciously with this energy, in the end, they would be transformed by the very power they are attempting to intellectually dismantle. It remains to be seen whether this will be true for Candace. It may be that she needs to get past the Uranus transit that is conjunct her Mercury currently before she can put things together. This is especially true since she just came off of a Pluto trine Mercury transit, in addition to her progressed Mercury recently stationing direct. This can really cause instability and intensity in all things that signify Mercury. If you want to understand the meaning of Venus, Mercury, or other planets in your chart, I have the perfect tool for you. Check out Pure Astrology cards to help you study the keywords related to the planets, signs, houses, and aspects. They are the easiest, most beautiful way to learn astrology on your own. You can find my affiliate link in the description. Use code PZAstrology to get 10% off of the purchase price, or use free ship to get up to $15 off of shipping. If you want to track what it could mean for you when powerful planets like Pluto or Saturn are active in your own life, you need my app, the Transit Engine. It shows you your transits and what they mean so that you can understand the dynamics going on in your life without getting stuck on the same old delineations. It includes where the final outcome might be felt by taking into account the houses for the transit and ruling planets. Test out the Transit Engine app with a free trial by going to the link in the description. If you're interested in more content like this, be sure to subscribe and let me know what you think about this in the comments.